All right, so like I mentioned, I'm going to kind of start with these smaller port plays like I did last time, and then we'll work into the bigger ones. So FSR has kind of been the one we've been watching. Um, for some time, really, EVs get hot. This gets tagged along with the memers. Broke downtrend, created this monster weekly box here. As of now, it's rejecting that 1270 level. Over that, basically, we'll play calls the Friday's high 1272 break. Also, can look to play this to the downside reject back to that 10 level. Um, Basically 12-15 is what I have for their support here, but I'll probably just play that prior low break at 12 for my entry, and then again those calls to the upside at 1272. Um, and again, theme would be EV's kind of hot, and somehow, some way, this gets tagged along with the memers. Obviously, it looks pretty heavy, but willing to play this both ways. I don't care up or down, but that's what I'm seeing, right? Weekly downtrend break, put in a new box, rejecting. So this could be breakdown, retest, and then let's see if we come back down. But like I said, I don't care. I'm just playing the prior low, prior high breaks for calls or puts. JWN's another one. I've kind of just been waiting on this. I've mentioned it, numerous times. We've absolutely hammered this. Uh, we play JWN a lot, and we are pretty successful with it. Macy's is, another one. If you look at Macy's weekly, monthly, it's coming up to a big boy breakout. JWN's not quite there, but why I'm on this bigger time frame is realistically thin PA, right? This is what I love. Straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, right? So JWN is coming up on trend, but it also has this monster gap to 3072. And again, you could see here PA is pretty thin. We could use this prior top box as, some resistance here, right? And it happens to be the highs here. So all we'll do here is play the breakout of Friday's high. And again, it's pretty thin, right? This box bottom is over to the top here. Something like this is what I'm looking for. Again, if we break trend on this too, this goes nuts. And again, gap fill to, that 31 level. So, oh crap, I'm sorry. This is a little messy, but that's really what I'm looking for here. Could be a real sloppy cup and handle. I don't really care. I'm just looking for the break to the upside. And if market comes down, look at this, right? Find a box, use it, boom, box over here. Now look at this is the bottom here. So if the market comes down, look at this, the same exact thing. Really thin PA, right? So what I'll do is just play the prior low break at 25.90 for puts. But this is more of an upside play I'm looking for. Another small account play would be Oracle. Don't mind me, my chart's pretty messy here. I play Oracle a shit ton, but again, looking, it's straight up. Only consolidation we had is up here. We're not there. It was straight up. Now look what starts to happen, right? Straight down. We have a rising wedge pattern, bearish pattern right at support. If we get a rising wedge breakdown at support, look what happens. This thing absolutely floods, right? And, find something and do it again, right? First time we broke rising wedge pattern, Oracle fell, and this is daily, right? Oracle fell almost 14%, right? So if we get the second rising wedge, which is bigger, you get it, another, 13%, 14% would put you under that 70 level. And again, under 70, we haven't seen these levels since March 25, 2021, right? So look, thin PA, right? This is what I'm talking about. If seven, again, if market keeps going steroids, then completely different. But look at this, real thin PA. This thing can absolutely tank, right? But really, we're targeting up here, as I mentioned. On this one, I'll probably wait just till that 80-25 breaks, just to be safe. I'd love the rising wedge to break down, but I'll wait for that 80-25 for sure. And again, it's real thin here. We got a nice, price gap here. So really like this setup. And again, these are more swing oriented. And the last one for the small port would be Mara. I haven't touched this name in years, but we do have, trend break. $20 held, amazingly here. So seemingly our low is put in, and once you put in that high, watch trend your new low, and then we don't put in a new low. Maybe time for a reversal here. Bitcoin, is getting going, 45K right now. Clean shot to 50. 3120 is a big level, as you can see. Over 3120, playing that high break, we should see a nice pop out of this name. And really, I'm not the biggest fan of this, but you could short that prior low, and kind of just work your way down, right? Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, you could definitely short the way down as well. 2650 level. If that breaks down, we could come back down to 2320. Then for our bigger ports here, HD's been having a hard time here, right? We've all watched the monumental run on HD, and it was absolutely disturbing. Now time to place the put sides. HD clearly hitting 340, and on the weekly, right? This is, I mean, we're really, if we could break these prior lows, right? What happened the first time? Well, the first time you broke 308.40, you saw 298. The second time you saw 299, right? So we break that prior low. You're catching a nice move here. Realistically, right? Retest of our real breakout levels at 292-ish. So this was actually a real clean breakout, retest, consolidated new all-time highs, and go. But yeah, this I think this name has a lot more room to the downside here. So I'm going to be playing the prior low break. I think no, we don't have a gap. I thought we had a gap, but this is a beautiful breakdown, right? This is daily breakdown, huge rejection off that big gap we were trying to chase to, which we nailed for good profits. But just looking for a prior low break here to really bring us down. 298's first target. We know HD moves fast and moves hard. So got some good volumes on the sell. It's looking great. I hate to be along with everybody else, but Snow is a ticking time bomb here. That gap's real attractive to 250. This name's kind of like Facebook. It just crumbled on earnings. Now look what Facebook's doing, really starting to rip up here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Snow do something like this. That's the characteristic of this stock, right? Learn how stock moves, learn how, what it can do. We're really, weekly time frames here. We're kind of coming up on some, decent head height here. But again, look, once this 220, I really like 220, I would say, but 218 level clears, I mean, you have a clean shot at 245. And again, on the daily here, that's where your gap is. You have this ascending triangle here. It's not the prettiest, but again, Snow moves erratic. So that's, kind of characteristics to this name. But if market continues to melt up, we'll play this upside. And then guess what? Yeah, we have a gap to 250. We also created a gap down here when the market just started doing this absolutely bananas melt up. So we could play a downtrend break, but really I'd prefer, 210 breakdown. Under 210, we could start targeting, 200, 192. This thing moves hard, it moves fast. So let's look for, volume either way, but this is brewing. You notice I play plays where it's, you don't really have biasm, right? This looks bullish, but I have no problem playing the bear side as well. Adobe ripped up on earnings. Now I'm kind of getting ready. This thing's in a downtrend, right? I mentioned, you're breaking trends on, weekly, daily time frames is, pretty impressive here. Adobe clearly in a downtrend, right? It's having a hard time. This was our real box, breakdown. And as you can see, Mr. PA, right? I love this shit. Under 414, I mean, we haven't seen price, since 2020. So this thing, we're in do or die mode here, right? And if we consolidate and bounce and break trend, guess what? I'll look for, calls. But this name's looking super heavy. Daily kind of paints that picture pretty nicely for you. The green lines was that box. And then, I mean, This is kind of how I'd have it set up, right? You can see 506, 455 is pretty clean levels. But really, again, I'm that under that 214.17 level. Look, we could really fall. I know we have that gap to the upside. Like I said, we could play calls. So how I would set this up, right? Just play prior high break, right? So, you're playing that 438 entry for the gap fill. You have at 450. Again, PA is pretty thin. You just rip, dip, right? So expect a fast move. Know your characteristics, right? And then to the downside, we'll probably be looking to play this trend breakdown, targeting that 414.17 level. Under that, all we need to do is clear 408, and it's really it's one candle. I'm not too worried about it, and it gives us that absolute flood to that 386 level. SE was another one that I play the same names really, but this SE just really plays charts pretty perfectly. Another name, once you break that mean trend, it's a mean fall down. Bulls, over 101.40 is what Bulls need. Why? Well, look what happens, right? It was a straight ripper, so guess what? You're going to get a straight dipper. Clearly downtrend, this thing's struggling. Market's ripping, relative weakness, right? I'm kind of loving this name. I think we have a nice gap. Yeah, it's a daily downtrend. I know we have gaps everywhere on this name, but really under 119.17 looks pretty good. So what I'd do here is just play the prior. I would probably wait till 111.30 to enter this trade. You got decent. I mean, this is back to 2022 here, 2020, but I would just play the breakdown of that 111.30 level, and we should really straight zipper down to back to those 100s with the gap underneath to 94. And again, if we break trend targeting, 135 fast and 150 can come fast, but I'm favoring to the short side on this name. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Oh boy. This is what I do all day, trends and lines. But IBM, so it was more weekly caught my eye here. It's not really my type of play here with the chop, but we have nice trend here. Last time we broke this trend, we saw IBM go to 142. You get the trend break, 134 is a decent target here. Over 134, you see 138. 138 gives you, 142 and 146. Would love to see some volume base on this breakout here for sure. Monthly time frame too on this is real pretty, getting really tight. We've seen what monthly breakouts can do, right? They can be absolutely parabolic. You notice we're at our prior all-time high before we really started ripping too. So we could definitely see a nice move out of this name. Another one was ZS Cyber. Oh my God, my screen hasn't been sharing. What? Wow, that's upsetting. Damn, I'm sorry. Well, I'm just gonna keep rolling here because I am recording this. So my last one's ZS here. It's another name, I really like to do for learning purposes just because it plays trends and levels so well. We had a daily falling wedge. Cyber's hot. Now we're creating this box, right? Short side under 225, long side over 240. I'm more long here. ZS can be explosive. Pan W's all-time highs, crowds ripping. ZS over our prior high at 238 really can clear you, 245, 247, 250, 252, and that real weekly monthly level at 260. It's a bit of a lagger here, but here's the weekly too. If we could get this weekly breakout, look what happens when weekly breakouts come, right? ZS goes nuts. Cyber is hot here. This one looks real nice, right? Weekly really shows you that 162 level clean. QCOM's another one for chips. Chips been going nuts. QCOM, nice clean breakout, ripped, consolidated, came back down a bit. You could see trends here pretty clean. It's, real shitty ascending triangle here on the daily, but it's there. And, really prices, relatively thin until like 161, 162 level. If you can clear that, this thing can see 165. We know QCOM, it moves, right? And look at PA, it's pretty thin, right? Over this level, ripper, dipper, ripper, right dipper. And, this would be tagging off NVIDIA if strength continues. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm watching here. LVS is another small account name as well. Weekly, daily, kind of just boxing out here. On the month, the daily though is a nice rising wedge here. Play the breakdown of your prior low at 38.90. This thing can move to 38.30. And then really, that's when it will start to come down to this 36.90 level, 35.50, that daily gap filled down to 33.46. So we'll see, but it could very well break trend, and LVS can see 41 fast, over 41, 43 comes. So yeah, alrighty. I'm sorry that my screen wasn't live, but I'm gonna post the video now with all of this screen time. So I'm sorry about that. Alrighty, take it easy.